So, today I'm going to talk about my experience doing a media detox, meaning for a whole day I did not consume or produce any form of mediated communication, like any form of media. So that means computer, books and everything, and except for using my voice. So on the day, I had kind of scheduled my week around the day, of course, like I had chosen a weekend day and things like that, so that I knew I wasn't gonna sort of get in contact with an excessive amount of media. And so on the day, I woke up, let myself cook for like 2 or 3 hours, and then I did my laundry for a while, tidied my room and everything. Then I went for a walk with my flatmate. I kind of became like procrastination pal because I would go into my friend's room because I didn't want to just eat in the kitchen because it felt really dreadful. So I just went into my friend's room who was revising, just listened to her revising and talked to her so that time would pass. And then what else did I do? And then in the evening we were invited somewhere, like our flat. We went to a social, and so it was like technically it was music in the background, but technically it was just like speaking to people. So yeah, it was really difficult. It was absolutely impossible to like cut out absolutely everything, meaning I needed to do my laundry, so I'm gonna use the machine even if it tells me it's gonna last 34 minutes because it was needed, but otherwise everything was in order. So yeah, how I felt during the day as well, like, so all in all I'd say it was an interesting experience. Of course, it kind of something else, seeing like how do you go about your day and how you change the way you organize yourself, and the fact that I organized my week a bit differently. And so in that sense it was interesting, but it was very disappointing at the same time. I thought it was going to be like, I thought it wasn't going to bother me that much, to be fair, because I'm just not that clingy onto my mediums. And then I heard we weren't allowed to use books and literally do nothing, like not even like board games and things like that. So I was like, okay, this is literally going to be dreadful. Which it was. At the end of the day, I kind of felt just this sadness and emptiness, and thank God there was a social where like there was actually a big interaction with people, kind of fill that emptiness, because the whole day you kind of feel just alone. You kind of like, not because you don't have any mediums, but I mean it's during revisions time, so everybody was kind of revising and doing stuff and or sleeping, and it was a weekend, so campus wasn't really very active, so there was nothing to really do, nothing very exciting happening until the evening. So that's kind of like how the day went by, and it kind of, to be honest, it just felt like I was living in the same world, just a very different and very sort of incomplete version of it, very, very boring version of it. And you know, because I've never really experienced it having a bad effect on me, meaning that, except for, okay, seeing an advertisement and really wanting to buy that product afterwards, I'm like, dang, they're good, but more of a thing, like, I've never had to resist the urge of, like, looking at my phone, and I didn't have to do that on that day either. Like, it was not resisting to anything. I wasn't, like, being like, oh, I wanted this so bad, except for music. I really, really wanted music. I missed music so much, because everything was so silent. I just felt like there was, like, people of the 21st century are not used to silence anymore, let me tell you that. And, so you either want to have a big room with like a lot of people talking, or you want to have that music in the background, especially in the morning. Like, you're like, the first thing you do is wake up and just put on some music. But yeah, in the end, I personally never had to like resist the urge. I'm not that dependent on it, and I didn't feel like I missed out on anything. I know a lot of people remember looking at some of the vlogs and people were saying like, oh, I felt like I was missing out because I wasn't on Facebook. It's like, no, it's not what bothered me at all. I just felt like I wasted my time at the end of the day, because I wasn't able to be really productive, except doing my laundry. I did nothing really productive, and that really, really bothered me. And I mean, it just felt like the rediscovery of boredom. Like, I thought I knew what it was like to be bored, but that was really the discovery of it. Like, you just, like, except for the moment we're in the evening where we're like with a lot of people sort of talking, it was so empty. Like, it had a lot of difficulties as well, not in terms of like having to stop me look at my phone or anything. It's just like like, I can't even look at my walls because there's pictures on them, and just reading food labels, you kind of felt bad. You're like, no, I'm not allowed. And so on that point, it was really difficult. And as well, like the media journaling part on the next day, it was really difficult because I kind of realized that, like, we don't actively use mediums, but it was difficult to actively not use them, and it was difficult to actively look at how many I use, because it's such a passive activity. It's such a thing that we just do it nowadays. And then again, I feel like it's necessary to do these kind of things as well, to kind of see it's definitely necessary. And that kind of brings me to a point of, like, technophilia versus technophobia. And I'm definitely a technophile, if that's the way you say it. I'm not afraid of mediums. It's probably because I never had to actually resist the urge of, I don't know, like, being on my phone or anything. And I think I love being able to have that knowledge all at hand. I like that. But I think it's very important for people to be technophobes as well, and to question what we do. I think it's very important to embrace some things and then also question some others, and kind of ask ourselves what we're exactly doing, analyze it as well, to know if it's really a good thing or not. And I think it's also normal to be scared. I mean, it's just like, it's something new, so it's just like anything. Like, yeah, when it's something new, of course, it just needs new boundaries. And I think that's kind of what David Carr wrote as well, and I think I really like that. In a way, he says that at first, like, the media, like, the way when Twitter was something new, at first it was like, oh, another thing's gonna make me lose 2 hours of my day. But in the end, he kind of has it as, like, this, I think he called it, like, a wired connection, or like a wired voice, listening to a wired voice. And I think that was a very good way to put it. What this day has shown me is how much I like media, how much I like it, how much I like writing my things down. I like being able to look at my watch. My time is precious. I'm protective of my time, and on that day I didn't feel like I did the most of it, because to me that's what media does. It makes the most, like, we are able to make the most of our knowledge, because then we don't have just the knowledge for us, we're able to share it. So we're able to, like, and then someone might take on that knowledge and bring it even further, and it's like, that's to me what media really enables us to do. And then, I mean, of course there's going to be bad things that are people that are, like, mediocre content is going to be put out there, and then it's going to get to other people that are going to make it even more mediocre than it already is. But if there wasn't the mediocre stuff, there wouldn't be the good stuff as well. So it's not that bad of a thing. Yeah, and I just feel like it's just a question of how you use it and what you do with the media. And I think it gives us so many opportunities. So I really like what David Carr said, because it's very much, he says that it's kind of a bunch of, like, it as being a new opportunity. It as being sort of a new gateway, and I think it makes the world it is nowadays, and we wouldn't be where we are now if it weren't for media. So I mean, Aristotle can say all he wants about how we have to remember things and we have to, like, train our minds. It's good that we were able to write things down. I think it's very good. And I think we're a busy world nowadays, and so we have busy mediums, like busy media, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. And I think some people are technophobes as well, like, kind of saying, oh, it's those new things, and we're gonna need new boundaries. And I feel like some of them are just waiting for somebody to tell them, yeah, this is how we're gonna limit it. And it's like, nobody's gonna really do that. It's just, we all have this responsibility of putting our own boundaries, and it's all I mean, media is sort of a form, it helps a lot of, like, sort of a democratization of knowledge and connectivity and everything. And so in that way, it's also our responsibility in democracy is our responsibility to kind of say what we want and kind of do the things so that it goes in the right, like, it's our responsibility to bring things in the right direction. It's our choice. And I think each person has its own choice to use media the way he wants to use it. And if he wants to he wants to let media waste 3 hours of your day, then just, by all means, you're very welcome. But if you want to, I think there'll be enough people out there that are actually going to make the most of it and are going to use it in absolutely brilliant ways. And I think it's a very good thing, and I think we just need to trust maybe them, trust them a bit more, and it's like it's everybody's little responsibility, and I think we shouldn't be scared that the boundaries are not gonna come enough. I think that it'll go into place without us even noticing.